Hey guys, welcome back. This is History of Soul Eaters Season 2, Episode 6 of my show, which is also about Episode 6. And Episode 6 in the English dub is, now before I start talking, I just want to mention this. If you guys watched my previous video at all last week, it ended at 14 minutes and 2 seconds. And just so that you know, I sort of ended it before I finished saying my sign out for this series. So if you saw that in the video, I completely apologize for that. I just wanted to get that out of the way there. And I wanted to get that little part there out of the way. Anyway, this is History of Soul Eaters Season 2, Episode number 6 of my show, which is also about Episode 6. And, Episode 6 in the English dub is known as The Underground Battle Commences, Break Through Medusa's Vector Arrow. Now, before I actually start talking about this episode, like I said, again, I want to apologize for, if you saw my video last week, it ended at 14 minutes, 2 seconds, and it ended before I was able to say my sign out for this series. So I just wanted to get that little part out of the way there one more time. Anyway, now this episode basically starts off where the previous one left off. And first it shows Lord Death with Sid and the others. And Sid basically says that he got the professor and some of the students to safety, but he should have found a way to get Lord Death to safety as well. And he's telling it, and he's basically said that there's no excuses. Like, he's telling himself that there's no excuses. He failed Lord Death and stuff, and then Death is basically saying that basically Sid made the correct decision given those circumstances they were in with getting some of the students out. He made the correct decision. So basically, I'll just explain. Basically, what Lord Death is saying, that Sid made the right decision given the circumstances, which honestly I agree with that as well. It was technically the right decision. If you have both Netflix in America and Canada, watch the episode and you'll understand what I mean by that. So I also technically agree with that decision. That's my opinion, and as I've said, YouTube is about people's opinions, and that's basically my opinion. Really. Now, getting off topic here just one last time, I was thinking what I might do. You see, I have my Xbox 360, and I will probably get the Xbox One. I probably won't play any of the Naruto stuff, but that's completely up to you guys. Let me know. And if I do, I'll probably only play 2, 3, and possibly Revolution. Well, maybe Revolution for sure, and possibly 2 and 3. I just thought I'd get that out of the way there. I just wanted to get off topic with the Naruto stuff. Just get off topic with the Soul Eater stuff and just talk about some of the Naruto stuff just for that little bit there. Anyway, And then he's saying that he still can't believe it. Their own Dr. Medusa is a witch and stuff. And then basically, what happens is, one of the students there is, saying that, basically, he's saying that could Lord Death be able to get out through the mirror and stuff? And then he's saying that he can't because even if he did get out through a mirror, there would be nowhere for him to go to. And at best, a high-octane spell like the one that Free used was only going to be active for a few more minutes or so. And then he said that, and then the kid that was holding the mirror says basically, well, first Lord Death is saying that in order for the weapons to become death sights, they had to eat one witch's soul, like I said earlier, which is why they were given the ability to track witches. But now some of the witches can, and then the kid is saying that basically, the kid is basically saying, that was the kid that was holding the mirror, I can't remember what his name was. I'm gonna have to look when I watch season 3 to find out, and then I'll let you guys know. I do know that one of the Meisters on that squad is named Harvard, and Harvard is basically Ox's weapon, which is that kid that showed up in episode 4, which was also about episode 4. And here's the funny part, now that I got into Ox's partner, getting a bit off topic here, again, I'm sorry, Harvard, he's basically, at least in my personal opinion, he's both a mixed character, like he's a mix of Shikamaru from the Naruto series, as well as Scott Summers, aka Cyclops from the X-Men movies, as well as the X-Men cartoon series. I just thought I'd get that out of the way there. He's kind of a mixed character, because if you watch the series on Netflix, and you'll see what I mean by that, because he has a visor with a red line across his face. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm sorry, I just had to get that out of the way there. Oh my god. And then basically, what happens is, and then later on, Lord Death is saying that they don't have much of a choice, because if you basically close the lid on something that stinks, all you're really doing is covering up a really bad smell. And then he tells them about the Kishin that is sleeping under then he asked the students if he could have their attention. And he's saying that he tells them there's a Kishin sleeping directly under the DWMA. Oh my god. Oh, yeah. And that Kishin is known as Ashura. Now I'll explain a bit about him. Now that I've gotten into it, Ashura is basically the main antagonist of the series, sort of. And now that I've gotten into his character, I'll explain a bit, since he's sort of the main antagonist, sort of, like, of the entire series. Anyway, what I mean is, back before he was a Kishin, Ashura was a member of Lord Death's personal guard. And he was a very frightened man, and he was really scared. And he was always wrapped in, like, these bandages, kind of like a mummy. And he was able to eat human souls. And one of the students is wondering how was he able to do that because of the fact that that he didn't have a weapon, because only weapons could swallow souls. Oh my god! And then Death basically says that Ashura, he told them before, Ashura was a really frightened man. He was frightened of his own partner as well. So much so, this is the funny part, he was actually frightened by him so much so that he actually swallowed him. Oh, basically, he swallowed his own partner. Oh, so that's technically how he swallowed his partner in weapon form, which makes him both a weapon and a meister combined. Oh my god, I'm sorry, that's just hilarious. And then basically, then it goes to where Make is under the school and she's asking Kid how his dad got rid of Ashura in the first place. And he says that his kid said that basically his father tore off Ashura's skin. Oh, this is the gross part of it. He actually, Lord Death actually tore off Ashura's skin and stuffed him in a bag made of his own skin. And that's why, technically, why Medusa needed the black blood. And then later on, Medusa shows up. And then Stein starts formulating a battle plan where Black Star would go after Corona, and Kid, since Kid was the most mobile of the army, he'd go after the two attached shakes, and then Maka would pass by both Kid and Black Star to catch up with the ones holding me at the Shay case. And then basically, Medusa uses her vector arrows and tries to stop them, but then they manage to get away. And then later on, Spirit is basically saying that after the kids escape, he's basically telling Medusa that he did like to see her in her nurse's outfit. Oh my god. And then Stein tells him that he was dancing with her earlier, and then he says, oh my god. Oh, and just a little tip, a little heads up about this. After this season, we will technically have 2 more seasons to go. 1 more season with 13 episodes, and the very last one at 12. And just so you know, later on, like, at the end of this season, and at the beginning of the 3rd season, there will sort of be a new antagonist for the series. Ashura will still be the antagonist, and Medusa will still show up, but there will be sort of a new antagonist, like a new witch antagonist, as well as a new organization. I'll explain about that later when I get into... I'll give you guys a little heads up about that when I get into the final episode of this season. I just thought I'd get that out of the way there. And then basically... Stein is telling, well, first Spirit is saying that he did enjoy seeing Medusa in her nurse's outfit when she did the stint at the academy as the school nurse. Oh my god, I still find that a bit hilarious. And then Stein said that she was dancing with him, that he was dancing with her earlier, and then Spirit gets a little upset about that. And then Medusa said that she's getting embarrassed by them, and then they start using their soul wavelengths, and then Medusa's surprised by that, and she asks him if he wants to dance again, and then basically he said that it would be pretty difficult for her to do it this time, because because you see, early on when Medusa tried to charge at the students, Stein hit her with his soul wavelength, which then caused some of the soul thread suture to be stitched to her body and stuff. And then Medusa is basically, then it goes to where a kid is, and kid goes right past, but before and then basically, well, first, when Medusa and Stein are fighting, Medusa sets up her vector arrows, and then when one of her vector arrows is there, Stein uses his soul thread sutures to stitch him to the arrow, and then Medusa then charges at him, and then he releases the stitches. Oh my god. To have the vector play work in his favor and stuff. Oh my god. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh my god. I'm sorry. That's just a little hilarious. It's a little funny. Anyway, continuing on. Then basically, what happens is, she said that he wasn't lying to him. She wasn't lying to him that she doesn't want to be with him and stuff, and he's a scientist like her. They can want the New World Order together and stuff. And then basically, oh my god, I'm kind of getting distracted, I'm sorry. And then later on, basically, then it shows up where Corona is, and well, but before that, they continue fighting, and then Stein, like I said, he uses the place to his advantage by stitching himself to it and causing them to make him glide in the right direction. And then she tells them that the arrows always gets what he wants, that she always gets what she wants. And then Stein is basically and then basically Kid goes right past Corona and Ragnarok to catch up with Erica and Free, and then Black Star notices the demon sword, and then he said that defeating her isn't gonna basically increase his reputation at all. Oh my god. Oh, but one more thing, I just want to give a quick reminder about this. Basically, I believe I stated this earlier in the video. Basically, Lord Death, what he did was he killed Ashura and created a bag made of his own skin and stuff, which is kind of gross. At least in my opinion, it's gross. I just thought I'd get that out of the way one last time. And then basically, Black Star is saying that Maka, that Corona doesn't look like much. Defeating her isn't gonna raise his reputation at all. And then basically, Maka shows up where Black Star and Tsubaki are, and then they want to take on Corona, like, to settle a score, basically. And then, after a little argument, then Black Star goes on to catch up with Kid and stuff. And then basically what happens is and that's basically where this episode stops. So if you guys like this video on YouTube, just please give it the real best you guys can. And I'll see you guys next time. And like I always tell you with this series, watch it or I'll take your soul.